Hey, what's up, everybody? Greg Helbeck here, REI Deal Breakdown Part 2. This is the condo up in Tivoli that was a full renovation. The first video I did, this was a complete shell. There was no sheetrock in this main area. Kitchen was non-existent. Bathroom was basically ripped out. So I'm going to give you a tour of the property. And we actually ended up finding a buyer, and the closing is going to be in a couple weeks. So by the time this gets posted, they'll probably already be closed. So first things first, let's go for the tour. This was the living room, obviously. It was fully gutted. There was no, walls in here. Everything was exposed. So we put new air conditioning, new HVAC system. We threw in these nice high-hat recessed lights. We ended up putting nice, high-quality luxury vinyl plank flooring. We wanted to have a tan color just so the overall property was brighter. A lot of the gray stuff is out now. As you can see, the kitchen, completely brand new. We decided to go with some nice, pretty mid-range cabinets here. Obviously, we put all new appliances in, new dishwasher. This fridge was already in the property and it's brand new. Got the new electric oven range here. So really, because it's a condo, we're able to spend $65,000 and really go wild inside and put nice finishes in here. So I'll give you the rest of the tour here. Let's go into the bathroom. So we ripped everything out. Nothing was spared. A nice new vanity, good quality here. New toilet. We put nice tile here. Came in the black finishes. As you keep going around here, this is one of the bedrooms here. A lot of space. Nice lower level bedroom here. New floors. Painted it. And then as we go upstairs, we finished off the stairs. We sanded these stairs. Stained them up and go upstairs. Did the bedroom over. This is the upper level bedroom. Got the nice closet in here. Put a new light. Nice color paint. And this is something I'm really proud of. I really don't get emotionally invested in properties at this point, but this I really feel proud of. I'm really proud of the contracting crew that did the work, and I knew this would turn out really nice. So long story short, what we ended up doing here is we spent the money on this rehab. We're all in for about 65 grand on that rehab budget. We put the property up for $299,000, paid $130,000 for it, put about $65,000 of rehab money into this thing. And we got an offer for $289,000 within the first 2 days or 3 days. And we ended up countering and saying, hey, if you can go up to asking price, we'll take it. So they ended up coming up to the $299 price. We agreed on that, signed the contract, and we have the closing in a couple weeks. I think maybe later this week, potentially the following week. But either way, good win for the buyer, good win for us. So in this scenario here, paid $130,000 for the property, $65,000 on the rehab. I ended up borrowing all the purchase and rehab money at closing from a private lender. So I obviously got to pay the lender back at closing. When it's all said and done, I got to see the closing statement. This thing probably makes $65,000 to $70,000 of net profit after paying commissions, holding costs, all that stuff, utilities. So this will be a good project. I mean, this was a good one. The key to this deal, in my opinion, is getting this at the right number. Obviously, they say you make the money on the buy, but because we got this for $130,000, we were able to put that nice $65,000 renovation budget and put high-end stuff in this condo because we got it at the right number, right? And we knew we still had a good margin there. Another thing on this property that I realized is I originally thought we were going to only be able to resell this property for $260,000, $270,000. But before we ended up putting this on the market, there was another very similar property that wasn't this nice that ended up selling for $319,000, but that took a while to sell. So I'm like, if we price ours at $299,000, renovated 2-bed, 2-floor, townhouse, that should sell. And I was right. So we're in contract. Congrats to these buyers. I'm sure by the time this gets published, it'll have already been closed. So it's a nice community up here, Tivoli, New York, quiet, sleepy community, not much going on, which is good. So really lessons on this video. Number one, you make your money on the buy. When you buy a property at the right number, you can spend the kind of money that you need to spend to make it look like this. Lesson number two is pretty similar to number one. If you buy the property right, you can really, spend more money on that rehab. And like I said, this is 1,000 square foot condo. So 65 grand, high end, nice finishes is decent considering this was fully gutted. And then we also were able to save, which will be number three. Lesson number three is, try to be as resourceful as you can on some of these projects. So in this one right here, the fridge and the appliances, I realized that the old owner had new appliances in the garage. So instead of having to buy new appliances for the tune of, $2,000, $3,000, we were able to save that money because they were already in the garage. So if you ask questions and figure stuff out, sometimes you can save some money on the rehabs And the last lesson I'll share with you, obviously real estate's super local, right? Super, super local. I knew in this specific area of Tivoli, New York, houses are extremely expensive. So the second thing to houses would be condos and townhouses. And I knew there's not much inventory that sells in this Tivoli Gardens complex, right? I knew that. There's not that many comps, not a lot of places go for sale, which is good because when something goes for sale, it usually gets gobbled up pretty quickly. And the stuff that's going for sale here most of the time isn't renovated. So I figured hot market, low inventory, renovated product, priced fairly, gets properties to sell. So you price your properties fairly in areas with no inventory and a lot of demand, or low inventory and not a lot of demand, you get good offers. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have a house you want to wholesale to me, I'm looking for another project. If you have a deal, Hudson Valley, Seattle, Delaware, email me, greg@VelocityHouseBuyers.com, or send me an Instagram DM at greg37. And once again, this is 68 Tivoli Gardens, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.